Hello, my name is Daniel.
It's Daniel.
Daniel, and I want to welcome everyone to the NFL Quarter Games.
It's the NFL.
The NFL Quarter Games. And here to explain how it works is Falling Bear.
Will you just send it over?
Oh, yeah. Now to Falling Bear. Anyway, hello, folks. I'm Falling Bear, and I'm here to go over the uh, new 2019 NFL quarter game rule sheets. I have all of your schedules have already been made. Think everybody has their schedule. If not, you can get a hold of me on Facebook, and I can get you your schedule for your team. But this is what your schedule will look like, pretty much. You know, it's got all your stuff on there, your teams, what day, your win, lose, ties, and how much you paid. So anyway, down the rule, let's get to it. Some of the rules are new because last year we ran into a problem with tie games. So we're going to go over that here in a few minutes. But in your preseason game, for anybody who's just now starting to play, you don't have a buy-in. So you have your team, you have your schedule. You don't got to worry about paying for anything to start the game. You just wait till your very first game. Most of us is in August. And if you win, you don't pay anything. Okay? You only pay if your team loses. So if your team loses the game in preseason, you owe 25 cents. And that's 25 cents for every lost game. So, if you have a real bad team, you're going to spend a lot of money. If you have a good team, you're going to save a lot of money. But it's fairly cheap. It's why they call it the quarter games. Now, however, we do have ties as we've seen last year. So this year, the rules are all lost ties are double, which means if your team ties, we're going to use the Pittsburgh Steelers, for example. We'll say Pittsburgh is playing against Denver, and they tie at the end of the fourth quarter at 7 apiece, and they go to their next game. Pittsburgh wins their next game. We'll say they're against the Buccaneers. I don't owe anything. So I win that tie game from the previous week. However, if Pittsburgh moves on and plays against the Buccaneers and loses, as I said, tie games are worth double. So for the tie game that I played against Denver, I would owe 50 cents instead of a quarter. And then I would owe an extra 25 cents for the game we just lost against the Buccaneers. So altogether, I'll be paying 75 cents in preseason for any tie game that's lost. I can go into this further. If you need more information, you can just message me on Facebook Messenger or through Facebook itself, and I'll try to explain a little bit further. But anyway, it's broke down to 50 cents for the lost tie game, 25 cents for the tiebreaker game. So together, that's 75 cents in preseason. In regular season, it is for every lost game, you pay 50 cents. So it's 25 cents more than preseason because we're into a new season. So if you lose, you pay 50 cents. However, again, in the preseason or in the regular season tie, all games are still worth 50 cents, but tie games are worth double. So it would be worth $1 if you happen to lose the tie game. Again, we'll say Pittsburgh's playing against Denver. I don't pay anything for that game if we tie at the end of the game, 7-all, until Pittsburgh moved on to the Buccaneers. If they beat the Buccaneers, I owe nothing at all. If Pittsburgh loses, then I would owe $1 against the tie game because it's worth double, and every loss is worth 50 cents. And then I would owe an extra 50 cents for the game I just lost. So together that would be $1.50 that I'd be paying into the pot. It sounds difficult, but not really. I mean, how often do we have tie games? Not often in the NFL. Very rarely do we have tie games. But if we happen to have a tie game, I always post the scores and the wins and losses and who owes money and how much you owe on at the end of the week. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to message me on Facebook and we'll get everything figured out. Now, however, if your team makes it to the playoffs and you lose in the playoff, your playoff loss is worth $1. If you happen to, let's see, the tiebreaker, if there happens to be a tie in the playoff games, it's the same as everything else. They don't normally have ties. They play until everything's done. So I'm pretty sure we won't have to worry about the ties in there. But the playoff games are worth $1 if you lose in the playoffs. If you make it to the Super Bowl and you happen to lose in the Super Bowl against somebody else's team, you'll end up paying $2 for your loss. Which, you know, it's a big game. But however, we do go all the way down. If nobody makes it to the Super Bowl, none of our teams make it to the Super Bowl, we have an option. The team or the person that comes closest to the playoffs or the Super Bowl will win the pot. Sometimes we come close with two teams, same scoring, same win, same loss record, and they both lost out at the second round playoff. Because one's AFC, one's NFC. So at the end of the season, this is what happens if no team makes it to the Super Bowl, or if somebody, two teams tie. If agreed upon, you may split the pot, or you have the option to pick a team by majority of vote of the winners. Let's see here. If you agree upon, split the pot. All right. You can split the pot if you want to. If not, you guys can pick a team in the next game, and winner takes all. But however, if you happen to lose that game, you still owe $1 for that lost game. We're not paying anything extra on it. Now, some people have a team that looks like it's kind of falling apart in the middle of the season. Well, this is what happens. If you've got a team that you don't want, say it starts off and they're really, really terrible, you have up to week 5 to change teams. You can't change teams after week 5. But, however, if you change teams, you forfeit any quarters that you've already previously paid for the team that you're getting rid of. And you have to pay for all losses, preseason and regular season, for the new team you're picking up. It's only fair if you're switching halfway through the season, because you'll have a team that's not either has less losses or more losses, but either way, you still got to pay for it because it's a new team. Any questions on any of this? Like I said, message me, and we'll set up something where I can talk to you face-to-face and explain a little bit further. But however, at the end of the season, all quarters must be paid by all players before the end of the season to be eligible for the Super Bowl pot. So come playoffs, you have to have everything paid off or paid in by playoffs. If you don't have anything paid in by playoffs, you're not available or eligible to play for Super Bowl. So make sure that you have all your money paid in. I always send out notices at the end of every week for collections, so you should know, and there shouldn't be any excuse to go, I didn't know. You'll know. Any player not paid in will be disqualified from winning the Super Bowl and forfeit any quarters previously paid. So if you happen to pay in, we'll say we've got 17 weeks of play, and you've paid in $10 worth of quarters, and come down to the Super Bowl, your team makes it in the Super Bowl, and you haven't paid everything else up, and you still owe $3, you forfeit all your money, and it goes to the next person. So make sure that you have all of your quarters paid in. It's really worth the money. Last year we had Irma Mitchell. She won $60+ at the end of the season. So it's a nice chunk of change. Now that we've got actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think seven newcomers, seven players this year. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more money. But hopefully everybody has a good time with this. And like I said, this right here is going to be your score sheets and your team sheets, your schedule for every game, your buys, anything else. You don't have to keep the scores. You don't have to keep your paid whatever. I do that here, but it is recommended to mark down whether you've paid it or not. You don't have to. Because, like I said, I'll mark it down here, and I'll keep tabs of everything. And if something looks kind of off, I'll let you know personally. I'll send you an email or something saying that, hey, you're this amount short, and you need to get caught up. But I'll only do it till probably week 15. That'll give you 3 weeks to figure out whether you're going to pay in your money or not. And if you don't, then you kind of forfeit everything. And I really recommend not falling that far behind because it will be hard to get caught up. I'll probably let you slide 2, maybe 3 weeks. But anything after that, I'm going to be asking, are you going to pay or are you going to forfeit? That'll come close. But anyway, that's it. That's the NFL quarter game sheets. Hopefully everybody this year in 2019 has a good year. Everybody's got some pretty strong teams this year. We're looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have the Colts. We have the Denver Broncos. We have the Titans, the Rams, the Bears, the Vikings, and Green Bay. So yeah. We got some really good teams playing this year for the quarters, and hopefully that we can probably get some more people in. I mean, I'm going to let people join up to week 5. So if you want to, if they want to join any time between now and week 5, have at it. So I'm going to sign off for now. I'm Falling Bear, and good luck, NFL quarter players, and we'll see you at the end of the season.